welcome along and welcome back to Spruce Mountain Farms. Today we are going to be continuing the cotton planting. We have got a still got field 5C left to do, I think it is. So yeah, field 5C, our bottom one, that needs doing, and field 6 as well. So, or do these, yeah, these fill up here. So we'll get these filled up. Again, we're not putting any fertilizer on at this point. We're going to put liquid fertilizer on later. This tractor here, though, this is going to be sitting waiting for our planter to be empty. In fact, we will probably end up going down here. Let's close all these up. Down there like that. There we are. And get this loaded up. Those can close. So lift to the back, because we did that for easy access. And then we're going to head out. We'd already started the bottom half of field 5. So field 5C had already begun work. We just want to go and get that continuing. And then we're going to take our John Deere tractor and head down to the shop. And this is because we need to start getting these rolled. So I want to roll all of our cotton in today as well. We need to get that done by the end of the day too. So yeah, it's going to be a busy old day. First, I need to line this up to continue. And yeah, it started fairly well last time. And in fact, you can see all the little stones that we got on the field. So those should all be cleared up by us rolling this field, and make things just that little bit easier. So bring this up to here. Make sure we're up to the edge of the field. Make sure that we're nice and straight as well, because we don't want this seeding at an angle. A little bit more. Little bit more. A little bit more. And right, and hired worker on. Tiny gap there. I can go and clear that up later, but for now that's got started and we can go and get the John Deere. Now unfortunately we don't have a roller at the moment. We're gonna have to lease one, because I think the 2 rollers that we have available base game are both too expensive. Let's just bring our John Deere here then and pop in. What have we got? So nothing in the sales today, unfortunately. So yeah, nothing useful there. In the rollers, though, yeah, we've got these 2 choices, 41,000 and 140,000. That takes 350 horsepower anyway. This takes 160, which is well within what we can fit on our tractor. Before I do that, we know our tractor that we're sticking this on. So the number plate that we've got on this is a MapsByMako. So let's do that on here as well. So there we go. This number plate is set up. We will put the BKT tires on it, I think. And we're going to lease that. So that will cost us £2,000. So not the end of the world. And should allow us to get this done fairly well. And we're slowly building up all of our equipment this way. It is a fair cost of leasing each month. But we're making enough on the farm to be able to actually cover the cost of the leasing. The big one is going to be when we lease the cotton harvester later in the year. We leased one of those this year, but we returned it, whereas everything else we've leased and held onto. So it's going to be a bit of an interesting one. That it's going to be a huge amount of money, about 30-odd thousand, that we currently do not have. And that's one of the few concerns I have at the moment. I mean, another example is that we didn't have enough slurry to completely cover this field. We only got about halfway through it. So we are going to have to do some extra well, some extra fertilizing down here, so that's going to cost extra money. We may be able to get some slurry on the bottom end of this field, maybe, if enough has been generated by our cows, but I'm not fully expecting that to happen. Yeah, don't hit my rollers, please. However, that seeder will keep going and should do us pretty well for that. And this roller is going to make very short work of this field up here. So we should get all of this planted and rolled today. Let's get this unfolding then. I think this is pretty big, this roller. Not as big as the other one we could have had, but certainly big in kind of size we need for our work here. And we didn't plant quite up to the edge here. It would have been a little bit odd to have done that, to be honest. But down goes the roller. And away we go. And of course, we currently don't have... Oh, that needs to go down a bit. And down a bit more. We don't have GPS on this tractor, which I would very much like for a job like this. And eventually I will probably spend the money on it. Right now, we've got more important things to spend our cash on. Now, the importance of this job is twofold. It will give us a 2.5% increase in our yield for the cotton, which, considering the value of the cotton, is worth a huge amount of money to us. On top of that, it is also getting rid of all these little stones, which we do not want damaging our harvester and causing us to have a larger maintenance cost on top of the cost of leasing it as well. So, that in the right place? I think that is. Yep, we're good. So I want to, I want to minimize that. That is not in the right place. I have to reverse this up. Move ourselves over slightly, like so. Nobody will notice it. It'll be fine. There we are. And yeah, so it'll increase the yield and reduce the maintenance cost, both of which should more than pay for having this roller kicking about. So all round, it's good news. It's a good idea to do it, and it will save us money and make us money, in fact, in the long run. Another job I'd like to get onto today, if we can, is planting the grass field around the cow area. There's quite a lot of grass I want to get in there. If we can get that in early March, or well, we're in late March, but if we can get that in March as well, by this summer we should be in time to get our first cut and our first hay off it, which would suit us perfectly. I am going to have to come along the headlands here, I think. And yeah, it would that would suit us absolutely perfectly for getting a hay cut, probably in early summer, would be my expectation. Get an early summer cut of hay, and then an early autumn to mid-autumn cut of hay before we get into our main harvest, because our harvest with the cotton and the corn is late in the year anyway. Would be pretty good. That would be a great way for us to go, and would give us something to do during the summer, along with, I think we're going to have to do a couple of contracts in order to bring in enough money to run the cotton harvester later in the year. So in both cases, yeah, I think getting ourselves nicely ahead as much as we can right now would be great. And how far is this going to stretch? Are we going to get all the way across this last section? I don't think we quite are. No, I'm going to come over and overlap a little bit so that I've got a little bit of extra to do. But yeah, we're not quite going to reach to the edge of the field. So I'm going to have to come back along that edge bit. But we're still way ahead of where we need to be, which is great news. Coming back along for this tiny little bit along the edge here and just finishing that off. It looks like there's a couple of places on the field where stones haven't rolled in. So I think we've got a couple of patches like there that are larger stones, maybe medium ones. So yeah, those aren't rolling in. It's only a couple of small patches, and I'm not really worried about having to sort those. So that's all good. Our seeder, though, does need to be refilled. So what I'm going to do is we'll take this down the bottom. I'm going to set a hired worker going with this while we go and get the seed bags and bring them down to the field here and get our seeder refilled. It hasn't even made it halfway through the field yet. So, yeah. This is probably going to catch up fairly quickly, and we'll just have to keep an eye on where our two tractors are. One problem I am having with the John Deere at the moment is it's in need of repair. We need to get it repaired, and the trouble is that as a result it's cutting out. The engine cuts out. Right, let's pop over here and open these up. Right, all the way along. Get them open. There we go. And just bring these up behind. I wish I could realistically fill each of these. I mean, it would be a pain, but it would still be quite cool. And now this should take all of this. And yep, that's all done. So then this can get working again. Start it up. What's the condition of this tractor like? This tractor's not bad. So fire that. And away that goes. That should now mean that we can take this back up to the farm. I wonder. We could use this tractor to plant grass. I think that is going to be a while before it needs to fill up again. And we can leave the bags on the front. Has that broken down? Nope, that's turning around. So the interest of getting as much done as we can, and with the fact that this tractor would otherwise just be sitting there, what I'm going to do is lower our rear weight down and drop it off, and grab our roller stroke seeder for grass. And we can back this onto here like that and do that. And I've not done any of the connectors at the moment because what we want to do is drop it off again here. I want to open it up first. There we go. And then if I grab just a single seed bag off here, it'll muck up our numbers a little bit, but it should still be fine. Grab that. We got plenty of seed left to do the rest of the cotton. And I'm planning to buy more seed before we go and do the corn. And yeah, this does not take much. So it doesn't make a massive difference to us. Let's put that back on there. Now this is where this double one can be a pain. Because obviously it wants to pick up the second one, not drop them. Right, connect this up to the back. Like this. So there, we did actually use this on, I don't remember which other map I've used this on recently. There we go. Because it wasn't the realism experiment. Yeah, where else have I used this? I've used this on somewhere. And I can't remember exactly. Oh, I know where we used this. We used this on Silver Run Forest. Yeah. And look, our John Deere is broken again. So yeah, we're going to go and deal with that next. So what I'm going to do now is check that we are seeding grass. Line this tractor up here. And drop you down. Okay. There we go. So this John Deere, you can see the level of break on it. It's not overly bad, and we can probably get through the rest of this field. It does mean that it is just turning off occasionally. So the best way for me to ensure that this job gets done is actually to go and do it myself, and ensure that it keeps running. And if it conks out, I can just start it up and get it going again. And then, when we get to the end of this field, we should have the time to get it fixed. I think my seeder is traveling about twice the speed. It's definitely going faster than we're traveling with this roller. But our roller is nearly twice the width of our seeder. So it seems to be that the two are holding a similar sort of distance between them going across the rest of this field. And that should mean, barring a need to refill, that tractor should finish the field at about the same sort of distance we're at now, which is great. It is 1:30, though, and I am beginning to get a little bit concerned that we might not get all of the work done today that we want to get done. This field certainly will be done. We are within a stone's throw of that, so I'm not too worried about that. Will I clear that tree? Yes. Can I get this round and back? Yes. Good. I think we're good there then. But yeah, I will get this field planted and rolled today. It's field 6 that worries me. I'm very much hoping that we will get onto that and get that seeded. It is slightly smaller than this field, and we've definitely got enough seeds for it. It is just whether we're going to run out of time. And yeah, that is based on our restrictions that we play this at 10 times in order to keep things moving along nicely. Don't think, though, it is the end of the world if we can't get this planted today. Let's have a look. Actually, it is. We've got to get the rest of the cotton in today. Otherwise, our planting window is going to close. So, yeah, this really is the last chance for the cotton. So, our seeder has got very close to the end of the field. And has run out of seed, so I'm grabbing these 2 bags. The other thing is, interestingly enough, we have a shortage of seed on this, I think. It is telling me I've got 69%. I thought it was a little bit lower than that. It could be that it was adding what we've got on the back with what we have here on the front. In fact, no, it's saying 1,000 liters. So I think actually it's counting one of the big bags we've got on the front as grass seed. We'll see when we empty this out and check this. This is giving our John Deere a chance to catch up, but that's all right because we are in full control of that. And whatever we have left on the front of here, we'll take back up with the grass. So let's swing this round. And yeah, already opened up. Now, hopefully, this isn't going to immediately start going as soon as we load this up. I don't think it will. Hired workers, yeah, hired workers don't tend to do that in FS22. We can now close that down, though. And away it goes. And I'm going to take these 2 bags back up with me because we need to get this seeder going again and getting grass seed down. We're okay. I think we might be all right for getting everything done today. Certainly, I think we can get all the cotton in. It's whether we can then also get all of it rolled as well. Coming to the end of the row with the Steiger, and you can see there that roller has really caught up with this. But it is the end of the field, and that is fine. It means that we are all done and dusted. Right, let's reverse this up. We have 891 litres of cotton seed in here. So we'll just run this up to field 6 and get that started. Oh, actually, no. before I do that, I've got to go to the other side of this field, field 5, and we've got a little bit of headland to do. So I'm going to do that first, and then we'll run this up to field 6. Having got my headland sorted, we can now head up here to field 6, and I'm going to start it at the far end over here. And we've got 876 litres left of cottonseed, so that is all good. We can line this all up, and yeah, we should be able to knock this out in the next couple of hours. That would be good. And away it can go, and with any luck, once we've got our John Deere repaired, we'll be able to come up here and get this field rolled as well. So just finishing off the headland with our rollers, these trees along our driveway, they make things a little bit awkward, and as a result we end up with patches, which is why I had to go over the headland with the seeder, and then we just run the roller down here just to finish things off. It means that we get the whole field done and dusted, and it's all good. And we should be able to get this little patch of stones up here that have been completely missed. I have discovered you have to have quite a lot of overlap between 2 rows in order to make sure you get all the stones. And we got a few patches of stones on the field in places. So that is not great. But it's a lot less damage than we would get otherwise. Right, this tractor is very much in need of repair. So we're going to give the seeder a little bit of a head start while we take this up to our workshop and get it repaired. So bring the John Deere in. Try and keep my camera a little bit steady as we do so. There we go. Jump out. How much are you going to cost me? 3,600 to repair it. Ow. There we go. It's 58 months old. It's got 45 hours on it. And yeah, it tends to wear down a bit fast, this tractor. I think at some point we want to get it replaced. Finding something with enough power, though, that is going to be cheap enough, that doesn't have a ridiculous number of hours on, is going to be tough. What I do want to do quickly is give this a quick wash down. We are going to be using this again, but washing your tractor reduces how quickly it wears out. Same goes for your equipment, but especially on a tractor this old, and with this many hours on it, I want to keep it as clean as possible to try and reduce that maintenance cost as much as I can. The rollers, we'll just give a wash because they happen to be attached to the tractor. And yeah, it'll reduce the amount of maintenance we have to do in them as well, which is good, especially for something which we are currently leasing. Right, let's take this out over to field 6 and get it started. It looks like something's gone hideously wrong with our seeder. What has happened there? Why did that stop mid-row, turn round and come back? It's a bit odd. I think we're going to have to, before we get this started, just sort that. So let's jump into here, and then when this gets to the end of this row, we'll take the hired worker off, turn around, and yeah, see if we can get this row here finished up. Looks like it's reversed up or something because it had trouble. So let's start that, drop that down, and away we go. Yeah, it is just a single row that it's messed up for some reason. And yeah, I can't quite tell why. Like our roadway at the other side, this is going to need a headland up the top end of the field here. There are just too many trees in this woodland that get in the way for us not to have that. So yeah, let's position this here. I mean, you can see where we actually put a headland in with the plow when we came through here before. So that was kind of expected. Let's hire this. And away that goes. We can jump in here then and expand our roller. And again, I'm hoping that it's going to keep a fairly even distance. That way we can just work our way across this field. Wow, this is going to take a little while longer today because it's already turning 5 p.m. That's an auction for Field 31, which is right over the side of the map. That is finally finishing. Yeah, we've got probably a job to do into the evening here in order to get this done. Because, yeah, there's a good 3/4 of the field still to go. I think we're going about the same speed as our seeder is. So, yeah, we are catching it up quite easily. It is going to be, though, halfway through this field on the next pass. It is 5:45 in the evening, so I think it's not going to be too late that we get this field finished. I am going to have to sit and wait, though, for a minute with the roller here because obviously we're going to be overlapping with our seeder if I don't. So I'm going to come to the end of this row here and we'll sit here for a bit. Let the seeder get a little bit ahead, and hopefully it can get far enough ahead that we don't have to worry too much about it when we restart. Meanwhile, it looks like our grass seeder has been doing a great job. Only a little bit left of this field. I left the big bags on the front because there's enough weight with the seeder on the back to offset them. But also because at some point I figured I'd probably have to refill my seeder anyway. And so we have a decent amount of seeds still here that will hopefully allow us to finish off the field. And yeah, this should get this done today as well. We just need to then empty the seed out of this and run this roller over it once the grass germinates, which should be the beginning of next month, and that will then up the fertilizer stage of this grass as well, which is great news. Or up the amount of nitrogen, I should say, because of course we're using precision farming here, and that should work fairly well for us. Our seeder has stopped. It is out of seeds. We've got about 500 liters of seeds here, I think. So it hasn't opened up the back, so let's do that. All the way along. Perfect. And then we'll empty the 2 remaining bags of... Whoa. Yeah, empty these into there. That cannot empty all of my... Wow. That emptied all of my seeds. So there is actually no grass seed left in the back of this. Interesting enough. It must have been taking it out of the seed bags on the front, which is a little bit funny. 633 liters, though. It might be enough to finish this field. We'll see soon enough. Meanwhile, I need to go and put a little bit more seed into the back of this to ensure that I can just get that last little bit of grass finished off as well. Seeing as we've got just this last little bit of grass sitting here, I'm going to finish it off myself. We're waiting for the seeder to get a little bit further ahead. So I might as well just save myself a little bit of cash and get this done. As I said, the thing I'm worried about today is less getting everything rolled. It would be good to get the field rolled, and I think we can time it in a moment so that we do get the last row rolled just as it gets seeded. Oh wow, that's not the whole way across there. But we've got to get the cotton in. There is no choice. No matter how late we go, and the fact we've got rain on the way as well isn't great. But no matter how late we go, this cotton has to be in today, or we are not going to have 3 full fields of cotton. One thing I will also note is the roller on this is working great. It's rolling in the stones as we're seeding. That's brilliant. Last of the grass to get planted along the edge here. Got a couple of bits just to top up. But otherwise, that is that job done and dusted. Trying to keep an eye on where my seeder is as well over there. There's I basically want it to get 3/4 way through the field, and then I'm going to get the roller out again and get that finished. So I think that's got a little bit further to go, and I might even take control of it myself in order to get it done. Yeah, that's about 2/3 of the way through. So a couple more rows, and I think we can start the rolling again. My seeder is about where I want it to be for me to continue rolling. Yeah, not a lot of field left for that. So, yeah, we are going to get this roller going and try and catch it up, chase it across the rest of this field. And it's 7:45 in the evening. Wow. This is a late one. It's 20 to 9 and we're almost done. Our seeder, just before the end of the field, has run out of seed. So I'm just going to refill it quickly with this. Let's get that there. There we go. This will be more than enough for this seeder to finish this field. But we are going to be doing maize on here later, so that should be all good with this seeder. Yeah, there you go. There's the last little bit. We'll park this tractor up here, and I will clear everything up later. Let's turn the lights off and get this last little row done. Let's close these off. Oh, get that end. There we go. All of them closed down. Close those top ones as well. Start it up, because our roller is getting very, very close. And all of the lights on. Let's get this last row done and dusted. And then the cotton is in for this year. Next year, my aim will definitely be to get the cotton in earlier. I don't like leaving things till the last minute like this. It means that we are rushed and we're going to like 9 o'clock at night to do it. And yeah, it's just really, really annoying. That's got this field done. I do have one last little bit to do, and I will go and do that in a moment. But I think that is a pretty good place to finish it. We'll get this rolled. The hired worker will finish that off, and I will go and do the little bit of tidying up. But for now, all that remains is for me to say thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, drop us a comment, and give it a share. Special thanks to all my patrons and channel members. Your support is invaluable in making these videos and helping the channel to grow. For more from Virtual Farmer, check out the links below, follow on Twitch to watch live, and for more videos, subscribe and ring that bell. I will see you next time. Goodbye.